Have you ever noticed how some people just have this quiet presence? They don't chase attention or explain themselves at every turn. When they step back, something shifts. People notice, they wonder, they try to reconnect. What if you could have that kind of presence? Not to play games, but to take back control of your life. What if, instead of burning yourself out trying to please everyone, you chose to put yourself first? What would your life look like? We grew up in a world that rewards always being on. From a young age, we're taught that saying yes is the way to be liked, respected, valued. We reply to texts the second they come in, take on tasks that drain us, justify ourselves to people who don't deserve our energy. But have you ever felt that heaviness? That exhaustion from giving so much of yourself that there's nothing left but a void you can't explain. Maybe you've wondered, am I living for me or just checking off what others expect? It's a tough question, but it can open doors. Here's something that could change everything. When you start prioritizing your energy, your time, your focus, your peace, the world around you shifts. People who relied on your instant responses get thrown off. They don't know how to pull you into their game anymore. And that's when you feel the control coming back to you. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about realizing your energy is precious, something worth protecting. Carl Jung, one of the big names in psychology, talked about individuation, the journey of figuring out who you really are, free from the masks the world puts on you. That journey starts when you say enough to what drains you, when you choose to preserve yourself instead of burning out. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about living with more truth, more self-respect, more freedom. Today, we're diving into how to do that. We'll unpack why always being available holds you back, how your reactions can trap you, and how intentional pauses can give you back your power. Stick with me, because this conversation might just change how you see things. Who's really winning when you're always ready to give in? And what are you giving up by not putting yourself first? Always being on is like carrying a backpack full of bricks. You feel the weight, but you keep going because you think that's just how it is. Ever stop to think about it? We're always saying yes to favors that exhaust us, answering emails at midnight, agreeing to things just to avoid a fight, even when something inside us is screaming to stop. We grew up hearing that being available makes you a good person. Don't let anyone down. Be helpful. Those words stick with us. But here's the deal. Being available without limits is a trap. The more you give, the more people expect, and the less they value you. Your energy is like a battery with a finite charge. If you let everyone drain it without thinking, it's gone fast. But if you choose when and how to use it, it lasts longer and serves a purpose. When you're always available, replying instantly, taking on extra work, keeping the peace, you become a never-ending resource, at least in other people's eyes. They don't see you as someone with needs. They see you as a fix for their problems. Think about who in your life expects you to always be ready. Maybe a coworker who only reaches out when they need help with a deadline, or someone who blows up your phone expecting instant replies. Every time you give in when you don't want to, you're handing over a piece of your energy. What's left at the end? Fatigue, frustration, and sometimes the feeling that your worth is tied to what you do, not who you are. Research shows that trying to please everyone without breaks leads to emotional burnout. You don't even need studies to know it's true. People who never say no end up sacrificing their mental health. But what if you flip the script? What if you decided your energy is too valuable to waste? Saying no to a request that doesn't make sense or waiting before replying to a text might feel small, but it's a game changer. At work, saying, "I can't take this on right now," might catch people off guard, but over time, they'll respect your boundaries. Have you ever tried setting a limit like that? What's holding you back from protecting your space? Recognizing your energy isn't endless is the first step. It's about choosing where it'll make a real difference. Let's keep going, because next we're looking at how your reactions can keep you stuck and how you can break free. Sometimes you get this feeling like you're being dragged into a fight you didn't sign up for. A snarky comment at work, a subtle dig online, a criticism that hits too close to home. Next thing you know, you're firing back, explaining yourself, trying to set the record straight. It feels like you chose to jump in, but really, someone else pulled you onto their stage. Why? Because your reactions are what give those moments power. Every knee-jerk response is like a thread tying you to their game. Think of it like a tug of war. As long as you're pulling, arguing, justifying, defending, they're in control. But what if you just dropped the rope? What if, instead of reacting, you just watched? Suddenly, the game stops. They're left scrambling because they were banking on your response to keep it going. That pause, no matter how small, changes everything. It puts you back in the driver's seat. John Gottman, who studies human interactions, found that heated conflicts often come from automatic responses. When you pause, take a breath, or don't respond at all, the tension fizzles out. This isn't just for personal relationships. It works at the office, online, anywhere. Every impulsive reaction hands over a piece of your power. Every pause brings it back. Ever been there? Maybe someone at work hinted you didn't do enough. Your gut says to list all your efforts, prove your worth. But what if you just said, "I'll think about that, I'll calm"? Or better yet, what if you said nothing? Silence makes them deal with their own words without your reaction fueling it. Carl Jung called this projection, when people dump their insecurities on you. Reacting right away keeps that cycle spinning, but a pause breaks it. Who in your life seems to enjoy pushing your buttons? Maybe someone who drops comments just to get a rise out of you. Every time you take the bait, they win. But you don't have to play. Ever thought about what it'd be like to just not react? Choosing not to react is about deciding what's worth your energy. That space you create leads to something bigger, which we're diving into next. The power of silence and how it can reshape your life. In a world where everyone's shouting, posting, trying to have the last word, silence feels almost like a bold move. But it's not the silence of hiding or giving up. It's the silence of someone who knows their energy is worth protecting, who picks carefully where to spend it. What if I told you a well-timed pause could change how you handle the world? When you don't jump to respond, whether it's to a criticism, a demand, or a jab, something powerful happens. You give yourself room to think, to see what's really going on, to choose your next move. That space is where clarity lives. Neuroscience backs this up. Studies on self-control show that pausing before reacting cuts down on conflict and sharpens your decisions. Silence lets you zoom out, see the bigger picture instead of getting lost in the heat of the moment. Ever get a text that felt more like a demand than a request? Maybe someone pushing you to help when you're already stretched thin. Your instinct is to reply right away, explain why you can't. But what if you just let it sit for a bit? That pause flips the script because you're not following their playbook. Jung said we need to make the unconscious conscious. Silence is like a tool for that. It helps you spot what sets you off, who throws you off balance, and why. With that insight, you get to choose where your energy goes. In an argument, for instance, taking a deep breath instead of firing back can shift the whole vibe. They're braced for a fight, but when you don't take the bait, they're left hanging. Ever tried that? How'd it feel? Intentional silence isn't weakness, it's strength. It's you saying, I get to decide what's worth my attention. Think about a time you reacted too fast. What if you'd paused? How might things have played out differently? Choices like that lead you to a deeper place, a life where you're more in tune with who you are. That's where we're headed next. When you start guarding your energy, saying no, using silence on purpose, something incredible kicks in. You find your way back to yourself. It's not just about dodging what wears you down, it's about rediscovering who you are without all the expectations people pile on you. It's like flipping on a light that's been off for years. You start living for you, not to play roles others wrote for you. Your life might feel like a space you've spent years shaping to fit everyone else. Every yes you said when you wanted to say no, every time you put yourself last, was like giving away a piece of your ground. Now, it's time to take it back. You get to decide what matters, what stays, what goes. It's not a walk in the park. You might face pushback, criticism, even lose people who only valued your availability. But that's where real freedom starts. Freedom to be you, no masks. Brené Brown, a professor and researcher who studies authenticity, says that living by your own values, not by what others expect from you, is what builds real strength and earns respect. Authentic people don't twist themselves to make everyone happy, and that's exactly what makes them so magnetic. But let's be honest, it takes guts to get there. Choosing yourself can feel selfish sometimes, even when it's necessary. Have you ever agreed to something just so people wouldn't think you were being cold? Even when you were totally exhausted, you go, yeah, sure, just out of habit. But what if you said, hey, I actually can't do that right now? At first, it might throw people off. But with time, they start to respect your boundaries because you're showing them that your time and energy matter. And little by little, you start to feel more like yourself again, more whole. Every no to the world is a yes to yourself. It's a step toward a life with more clarity, purpose, and truth. Essentially, it's about aligning your life with your true self. It starts with small choices, turning down what doesn't serve you and making time for what brings you joy. What would you do with more room for yourself? Maybe pick up something you love, focus on your health, or just chill without guilt. Those moments are where you rebuild who you are. This journey doesn't just change you, it changes how you move through the world. We made it to the end, and if you're still here, something in you is ready to shift. Choosing yourself with clear boundaries, intentional silences, and a life driven by your truth isn't about shutting out the world. It's about making space for the real you. It's about ditching the scripts others wrote for you and starting to write your own. Picture your life as a path you're carving out. For years, you might have followed trails others pointed to, even when they led nowhere you wanted to go. Maybe you felt lost, trying to be what everyone needed. Now, you're forging your own way. At first, it might feel lonely. Guilt will creep in, whispering that you're being selfish. But keep going. This path takes you to places where you feel alive, at peace, whole. Places that are yours, that reflect who you are. Here's what matters. People who get upset when you pull back aren't missing you. They're missing the role you played, the one who was always there, who never said no. But the right people, the ones who truly value you, will respect this new version of you. They'll admire your courage to live authentically. And most importantly, you'll admire yourself. You'll see someone who fought for their freedom, even when it was hard. So let me ask you, are you ready to be misunderstood, questioned, maybe even criticized for the sake of your freedom? Are you willing to pay the price of being you? If that hits home, drop in the comments, I choose myself. Let's see how many of us are ready for this journey. If this video spoke to you, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Because deep down, we all deserve a life where our energy belongs to us. If this made you think or helped in any way, don't forget to check out the other videos on the channel. There's plenty more to keep you on track. Start creating your own path. You've got this. Until next time.